Good afternoon. I'm here today as the Minister of Tourism, Culture, and Sport to share key initiatives that will be supported by the 2024-25 budget allocation for our ministry. The ministry's 24-25 budget has increased by $15 million, providing a total budget allocation of $29,619,000. This increase is due to the transfer of the Bermuda Tourism Authority grant, the Hotel Regulatory and Policy Unit, and the cultural grants to supplement and complement the efforts of the BTA. This funding covers the operational expenditure for the ministry, inclusive of the ministry headquarters and Hotel Regulatory and Policy Unit, the Department of Culture, the Department of Sport and Recreation, and the grant to the Bermuda Tourism Authority. Now I will provide an overview of the initiatives under this ministry's remit. Ministry headquarters. The grant to the BTA is $16,540,000, a reduction of $2,460,000, and funds are being redirected to priority areas including increased grants to supplement local curators of tourism experiences, increased funding for elite athletes, as 2024, as you would know, is an Olympic year, increased funding for sports development in line with the national sports policy that will ultimately support many of the national sports governing bodies, expansion of the accessibility to affordable summer day camp programs, and assistance with the operation of makerspaces for artists and creatives, which is a 2023 Throne Speech initiative. The Department of Culture. The Department of Culture has been given an operational budget of $2,223,000. $300,000 is allocated for the development and establishment of makerspaces, a place where artists can create artwork, bands can practice, actors can rehearse, and creatives can collaborate with each other. Bermudian creatives, including musicians, visual artists, actors, poets, and dancers, have long advocated for a dedicated makerspace, and this will provide an environment where creatives can work on projects together. Cultural groups can meet, and performing artists who currently do not have an affordable place to practice can work on honing their craft. Some expected offshoots include workshops and master classes developed by the cultural community. The Department of Sport and Recreation. The operational budget for the Department of Sport and Recreation is $8,335,000. $350,000 of this budget is for elite athletes. The Elite Athlete Assistance Program, which currently supports prominent athletes such as Dage Miners, Daniel Augustus, Jessica Lewis, and Uche Andre de Silva, as well as Connor White, amongst others, covers essential aspects like travel, per diem, accommodations, and more. Given that the 2024 Olympic and Paralympic Games are scheduled for this summer, our athletes require comprehensive support to propel them towards sporting excellence for Bermuda. The enhanced funding will play a pivotal role in aiding these athletes, covering crucial aspects such as insurance, recovery, physiotherapy, coaching expenses, and other often overlooked costs associated with representing Bermuda on the international stage. $2 million has been allocated to the Sports Investment Program, which will allow the department to address gaps in funding to ensure alignment with the objectives of the national sports policy, including increased participation, achieving sporting excellence, and enhancing coach education. An additional $500,000 has been budgeted for summer day camps so that the number of students on the wait list is significantly reduced, alleviating stress for working parents. The Department of Sport and Recreation summer day camp programs are extremely popular as parents seek safe and affordable summer camps for their children. Annually, parents eagerly await registration of summer day camp. Registration closes within minutes of opening because camps have reached their maximum capacity. Due to popular demand, after the camp's enrollment have capacity, a wait list is created. The wait lists are usually long and extensive. The department's desire is to minimize this wait list that occurs every year. The aim is to alleviate stress of finding safe and, more importantly, affordable summer camps for as many children as we can allow. The strategy is to expand availability at public summer day camps and collaborate with private camp operators to secure additional spaces. The department will be reaching out to private camps to obtain some spots in their camps. This will help students that would not normally be exposed to these camps an opportunity to participate. Grants. The following organizations will continue to have the ministry's support for an array of programs and services that are provided in the community. The Bermuda Tourism Authority, Cultural and Entertainment Support, Parish Councils, the Annual Cup Match Classic, the National Sports Center, contributions to sports investment, elite athletes, the Bermuda Arts Council, the Bermuda National Gallery, and the cultural preservation of Gombe troops, museums, and heritage activity. The Ministry of Tourism, Culture, and Sport develops and celebrates our people through the National Cultural Heritage Policy. We will continue to diligently support initiatives that demonstrates the government's ongoing commitment to culture, sport, and tourism. Thank you.
Minister, I heard you name off, a place where cultural and musicians get an opportunity to congregate. Has there been any thought with possible schools closing, youth and sport be given one of the schools to house the national sports governing bodies, utilize the facility to the best of their ability to allow training, all sorts of things that could happen in their meetings take place and so forth? Has that been a consideration?
Well, I can tell you that at the AGM of the National Sports Governing Bodies, there was an idea of a location, and I'm not at liberty at this moment to disclose that location, but I can tell you that there have been initial discussions with a location in Bermuda and the National Sports Governing Bodies so that they can achieve exactly what you are speaking of.
What about a facility for a Hall of Fame? We keep running short of displaying our national heroes when we celebrate everybody else's. We even bring in everybody else's. What about our own, a place that we can call our own to celebrate our own athletes? Thank
you. As you know, Mr. Bazin, there has been a Hall of Fame ceremonies that have happened in the past. As recently as about a month ago, I did meet with that committee. We are going to do something with the Hall of Fame. However, the dedicated location of which you speak of may be a little further away, but we will be reinstating in some form or fashion the Hall of Fame so we can recognize the athletes that have not been recognized in a few years now.
We noticed that it's more allocation funds for the National Sports Center. Does that entail the solar? I know part of the solar has been actually turned on. When can we see the rest in full use and then reduce that bill that we have with Belco?
Absolutely, and I would say that your point that the part of the solar is on, also part of the overall project, and that's what a lot of people fail to realize, that there was an overall cost-reducing project at National Sports Center for some time now. You would notice if you go that all the lights have been changed. They are now LED lights, which is bringing down the cost of power as well. The solar project is a project on its own, and much has been said about that project and the funding for that project. However, you would also notice that the National Sports Center has other needs of refurbishments and had other needs of upgrade, and you will see that this funding that I've specifically laid out here is to speak to some of those other upgrades. I noticed that not much was reported about the National Sports Center getting a whole new array of chairs and seating. in the last year, and that came from last year's capital budget. The elevator has been upgraded, and we'll be moving on to other areas to support the running of the National Sports Center, which is a key part of sports and our elite athletes in Bermuda.
My final question would be, has the beginner given any thought of covering the grandstand, or the stand that don't have covers over it, and putting extra solar on that as another resource of income?
I could tell you, not at this time. At this time, there are other very key parts of the National Sports Center that need immediate attention. And once we get to that, we can go back and look at your proposal about covering other areas to reduce some of the energy costs even further. But it is expected, as was well documented, that with the solar project that we have on, once it is fully turned on, we will see significant cost savings, which may even result in a net gain of $0.